she left him. After she cheated, she left him.
And then they're still friends. He needs to watch AMS for a while. He needs to go out He don't need a red pill. He needs the whole jar.
He needs a drink.
He needs to guzzle it. I was like, bruh.
Yo, what's up YouTube? My name is Shishu Zed. I am back in here with another video for you guys. Today's another episode of the No Cap Show. We are back again with the cap. Unfortunately, this is the show where people tell the biggest lies on YouTube. I don't know why, man. We've got a new guest with us here today. Please introduce yourself to people. Let them know your name, your age, and where you're from.
Well, my name is Melanie King. I am, since this is No Cap Show, okay, I'm gonna just put it all out there.
All right.
Recently divorced, 39-year-old, meaning I am in no man's land zone. I've died and I'm in the desert.
Hold on, let me play the song real quick. No. I'm messing with you. Go,
I was wishing you had the song. But and I have two daughters, and I'm in between Orlando and Tampa.
Okay.
A little bit of Miami too.
Miami, okay, back and forth. How long have you been over there? You like it?
2 years. I lived in Atlanta for 10 years before here, and I lived in New York for a large portion of my life before that. But I'm from PG County, Maryland. Shout out to the DMV. Hey.
Gotcha. So today, guys, we're going to be reacting to another Kevin Samuels video. It's been a while since I've done a chaos reaction, and you know I always enjoy them just because the guests usually tell me some crazy stuff, man. And so I'm hoping today things will go a little bit different, but if they don't, it's okay. I've heard it all. You know what I mean? Today's video is titled Bored, Cheating, Single Mother is Upset that She Attracts Narcissistic Men. Now, just a quick recap on the video. It starts out with Kevin Samuels talking to the girl, and he asks her, why are modern women so bad when it comes to relationships?
I'm well. What do you got for him? How old are you?
I'm 31.
31?
Yes.
All right. Why are modern women so bad at relationships?
Right. We've both seen the video, and I want to pronounce your name right. How do I pronounce it?
Melanie.
Melanie. Okay. You've watched it. I've seen it. The girl responds to him and says, well, my problem is I attract narcissistic men.
But my problem is that I tend to attract narcissists, and I'm the complete opposite of a narcissist. Like I'm a very caring, very empathetic person. Yet I keep attracting unavailable men.
Right, which I thought was really interesting because immediately she got the question asked to her about women and she turned it over to, oh, it's a man. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh shoot, here we go.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Samuels asked her, so when's the last time you had a serious relationship? And she says 4 years ago. They go into that bit and she explains how we find out later on that she cheated on the man.
When was the last relationship?
Real one? 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yes.
How long did it last?
It lasted 3 years.
Was he a narcissist?
No.
Why'd you leave him?
Well, let's just say it didn't work out because I messed up. I was the one who messed up.
What does that mean?
I cheated.
So we find out she cheated on a good man, and Kevin's biggest problem in the beginning was like, hey, you came into this video like you were the victim, but we just found out that you were a cheater. And he didn't like that kind of like first impression of her.
So you're coming on and you playing the violin to get everybody's feelings involved. Poor empathetic girl who attracts the bad guy who's a narcissist. But then when you asked a few questions, you had a relationship with a guy for 3 years that you cheated on.
Yep, I did. I did, and I regret it.
And you left him.
Yeah.
But his conclusion was like, hey, you need more therapy and you're not currently fit for a relationship.
Yeah.
Overall, what was your take on the video?
I mean, you have to work really, really hard. Like the mental gymnastics it takes to not see the logic in the Godfather's commentary, monologues, help, whatever he's saying. You know, I mean, she came in delusion and capping.
Yeah.
That the guy was narcissistic, but usually the narcissist cheats, so I don't know. So she was capping right away. She came in there ready to defend herself. So I thought overall she struck me as weird and a little socially awkward, even just the way her interactions.
Is that what you got from her? Like a little bit like kind of socially awkward?
Yeah, it just seemed like she was like something was just off about her.
Okay, so
I couldn't put my finger on it.
You know what karma is?
Yes, and I do believe in it, and I understand
that. That's not your issue. It's just your karma.
Yeah.
So you don't come in with that.
So when does karma end?
I don't know. Ask the universe. This is why I don't fuck with karma. That's why I leave it alone. That's why I stay on the good side.
So overall, you agree with Kevin Samuels and kind of his approach to her.
I mean, you have to be a fool not to. I mean,
got you.
Let's
okay,
be honest
good.
about it. Like,
okay, no cap show starting out right.
Most women kind of, including me, kind of go in our feelings and we look a fool, or we believe foolish things about ourselves because, but Kevin,
Here's the thing.
slap you.
My biggest surprise out of the whole thing was the fact that she didn't even seem like she thought that was a problem. He asked her, he said, he talked about apology. And she said, I didn't apologize to him till years later.
Well, a lot of people don't realize what happened to them until they get hurt or until...
The question I asked is, you wonder why your karma not clean yet? You apologized 1 year ago for something that happened 5 years ago to somebody you involved with for 3 years. You may have another 7 or 8 years of this.
And I kind of stood out to me, like, imagine your woman cheats on you as a man and she does not feel any type of remorse until years later is when she actually apologizes, right?
Yeah.
Here's my question to you. We see these girls, they go on Kevin Samuels' podcast and they just can't see the truth.
Yeah.
Here's what I can't say. I'm not going to say, I don't believe that these women aren't smart, right? Is it that they don't get the logic, or is it that hard to accept accountability? And also, from your experience, have you been there? Have you been one of those women?
I'll start with me. Yeah, of course. I think 99% of women live there. And the reason why is because the world kisses our butts and tells us we're queens with a capital K, and just paying your bills makes you a boss, and it just makes you an adult being responsible. Like, sis, miss me. Okay, so like, I've been a boss. I've had employees. I personally don't like it. I don't want it. They're talking about bossing and leveling up. I've been where they talk about going. It's it's not great. So a lot of times women in their minds, society, every movie you see, every TV show you see, talk show, it doesn't matter what it is, it validates this BS message that you're this magical prize, and any mistakes that you make or any things you do wrong, it's just a mistake. I didn't mean it. And then the world tells you, I know you're a good woman. You didn't mean to sleep with his best friend. He just wasn't, he wouldn't get that promotion. And, it's all this kind of like circular talk or like a light chastisement, but women don't really have to look at themselves. No one makes us look at ourselves. I was talking to my dad today.
Okay.
Him and I were talking about it. Cause I talk to my dad literally like an hour to 3 hours a day. Like, I'm an unusual creature in this world, and he doesn't mix words with me.
So we have these women today who literally can't stand the truth. People will look at that video and they'll say like, oh, why is he being so mean to her, right? But let's reverse those roles. Let's say it's a man, he cheated on a good woman. They're throwing rocks at that man. You know what I mean? They want him like done. That's the type of energy men get. But with women, you're right. There's like this idea of you can't say anything that's a little bit too real to a woman because of her feelings, right? Mm-hmm. And what I really see when I look at this and like dissect it, I see a woman like yourself, for example. I'm assuming like you transitioned because you said all women do think like that, and you one day woke up and said, you know what, that's the wrong way to think. As a woman, I should accept accountability, and I should accept my wrong, and I should live more in reality than not. Why don't we have women like yourself out here talking about that stuff publicly?
I think they don't have to. There's no big movement to make women answer for today's issues, like for their issues. We make men address everything about themselves. They're not romantic enough. They don't talk enough. They're not emotional enough. They're not, making enough money. They're not tall enough. There's all these things, but women are told, well, we're supposed to be just accepted as we are, and men have to keep improving to earn us. And I think women have not been challenged. That's why Kevin is so controversial, because it's like, you're clutching your pearls like, oh, how could he? Not me, because when he started talking, I was like, finally, not this BS. Like, if he doesn't value you as the princess you are, you need to just walk away and leave. And the messaging is out there is that as soon as a guy doesn't meet some criteria or isn't stack up in your mind what you think is correct, or he makes just one little mistake, or what you see as an issue, you're allowed to just dismiss him like out of hand. It makes you and the world will validate you.
It makes no sense. And in our community, we see like it shows that in the actual statistics and math. Mm-hmm. 1 out of 4 getting married. Mm-hmm. I mean, just that in itself, you think that like a woman would sit there and think, and women like you who do agree with Kevin are the small minority on YouTube. Now, I'm not going to say they aren't living life, because I believe there's a lot of people who agree with Kevin, right? Especially people who are married, but they need to speak up. You're on YouTube, here with me right now, and you're okay doing this. This is great. I wish there was more of this happening. You get what I mean? I wish we saw this more. So I have a question for you. The first time you heard Kevin Samuels, do you remember what video it was? Do you remember your first reaction to that video?
It is the highlight clip of him average at best.
Okay, give me I want the honest reaction first, before when you first heard him.
I reacted to her before him. So my honest reaction to the video was when she was ranking herself. I mean, I can't cap. This part of women are going to be mad at me. I just thought she ranked herself too high.
Okay.
That was just my dead ass opinion. I'm sorry. Well, I don't curse. Sorry.
She did say, no, you can curse on here. We can say, we can curse. Okay. Yeah, it's a man's channel, man.
Okay.
She said that she was average.
I think she was capping. She thought she was higher than average. She was saying she was lower than that, hoping that Kevin would say, "Oh no, like I would give you an 8, 9." You thought
it was some like reverse psychology type thing, and Kevin was like, "Oh yeah, you're kind of in the right area."
Right. So when he said he agreed with her, that's when she was like, because probably I think she was from North Carolina, where she's from. I've lived in New York and LA. Yeah. Like I know models. I know people who have dated Tyson Beckford before. Okay, so I know what.
You know what it's
like I'm like a 1, okay, around these women, and I'm good with it. I don't care. But see, a lot of women haven't been exposed to that level of woman in person, and I don't mean Instagram, because to me, I don't find most of it attractive on Instagram. There's women in person.
Instagram's weird, man. Instagram is super unrealistic when it comes to like, women, and they all kind of look the same.
It's always this kind of like, they all seem to be like, get the same, I'm gonna suck all the fat out my gut and put it in my... And I don't have to work out, but I can just do squats. Well, squats don't really build your ass. I do fitness stuff, so I'm just like, okay, so let's go off. But
here's my theory on that. Like the fitness girls on Instagram. Side note here, I feel like a lot of those girls have BBLs. Now, listen, I've talked about this. I've had a guest. We've discussed the BBL thing. My thing is like, hey, do you? I'm not out here like I don't have very strong feelings on that, but I will say there is a line where now you're chasing something unrealistic on Instagram that I see once in a while where people kind of don't know when to draw that line of like, you know, maybe I don't need it bigger. You know what I mean? Now I look like a damn fucking cartoon.
And I think it's a lie to women that by doing that, you are more attractive. When I find I've been in a crowd of women with BBLs and booty out. I'm literally in a sundress with flip-flops, like coming back from the beach, like in Miami, and it's like girls out there with the fishnet, ass out, booties pop. I can't compete, sis. But I have a more fitness body. Mm-hmm. And with no makeup on, I'll get hollered at left and right. And I think it's because it's, you know, I think women think they have to do all of this for a man to be attracted to you or for men to chase after. Men don't care about that shit, yeah. I've been in high value circles. My ex-husband was Wall Street executive. So when I tell you there is no woman with, I call them that you can do like a mini BBL, like, you know, your body fat is so low. If you know, it's just, you gotta get a little something back there. Gotcha. But there's usually time it's a way to circumvent healthy living and exercise. Gotcha. Okay. But when you go in those high-end circles, all these high value, sure, a rapper's cool with it, maybe an NBA player. Yeah. But if you're going out with, you know, one of the executives of Bank of America and Turks and Caicos, or you're, you know, having dinner with the CEO of American Express. Yeah. Those women don't exist in those circles. Yeah. Even on vacation with their fun girls, they don't look like that. They usually just have athletic, slim, in-shape bodies. Got you. No, it makes sense. It makes total sense. You don't need it in order to try. In fact, you probably will get more attention just being fit and not trying to do all that extra. But if you feel like you want it, no problem. Just don't substitute your health, like working out for it. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So, average your best video. She says that she's average, and then they get into it. So after you finish watching that video, what was your thought? Like, this is truth. This is he's capping. What's up? It shocked me that somebody was willing to be that truthful. That's the only thing that shocked me, because I'm kind of like that. I have, I just found out last year, I had undiagnosed ADHD as an adult. I'm super creative. But with it, it has made me not socially awkward, but I remember thinking back as a child, like girls will be talking about this and the other. I'm just like, why are you kissing that boy in the neighborhood? He's going to probably be a loser. He's talking about selling drugs. Like, why would you? Usually you're mature logically when you have ADHD as a child. So I've always had this thing where I didn't understand why people, like if I said things like to women, that's why I couldn't keep women friends, because they just couldn't believe I would just be like, got you. Like, so they can't take the truth. That's why it shocked me that someone was willing and a man was willing to say it. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. I do these videos, and so I'll still hear Kevin Samuels keep it so real to the point where I'm like, ooh. You know what I mean? He hurt my feelings. That's why he's the Godfather, man. That's why he's the Godfather. You know what I mean? I'm doing the dessert. You know, this is like the dessert content for after you're done watching Kevin. Yeah. So have you ever got secondhand like hurt feelings, or like you felt that like oh, like, and that secondhand embarrassment too that you feel while watching some of those clips? But sometimes my heart hurts. I'm just like, man, because this is the thing. When Kevin is talking to other women, you need to find yourself in the conversation. Sure, he's talking about, a lot of times he'll say, well, if you're a single woman and you had your children in divorce, he considers it separate if you're a baby mama. But at the same time, he'll just say, listen, ma'am, you're still 39. I don't care how attractive you think you are. And he's talking to someone else, but I have to receive that truth into myself. Yeah. And that's what makes it, sometimes I hear it and I'm just like, it hurts, but I said, you know what? It gives me freedom, because I'm like, you know what? This is who I am, and I work with where I am, and I think that's what it is. Good stuff.
Good stuff. So back to the video about the bored, cheating single mother who's upset that she attracts narcissistic men. What else stood out to you after watching that video?
I feel like this video, and you'll see the overarching theme, and it's true for me as well. Women don't have to make a plan for their life. We're allowed to kind of just see how it goes. And because there's a lot of safety nets for us, there's a lot of, or we always think we can get a man to pay for things. Like, we have a social safety net, and we're born with intrinsic value because we have wombs. And because men don't, they have to always prove their worth. They have to earn their worth. Successful men have to make a plan. They have to stay dedicated and really hone in on those things. Where women are just given passes. If I want to take a break, that's what she said in the video. I just took a break from the therapy because I remember that. It was just, but men aren't allowed to take a break from anything. And if they do, they're seen as losers. You're not working hard, you're not trying, but women are allowed to have every excuse in the book. And me too. When I say this, I'm not pointing any fingers. And, you may not be, I grew up very, very religious. I'm not as religious anymore, but it's
same with me.
As I heard what she was saying, it made me think of a verse in Luke, and I'm just going to read it. And even if you're not religious, you can still gain wisdom from a lot of the principles in it. So take religion out, but just take the principle of what's being said. There's a lot of wisdom on what's going on today.
For sure.
In the Bible. But it says, for which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? This simple verse right here, I think, sums up why women don't have to think of the cost. We don't have to think of the outcome.
Okay, preach.
We're allowed to live on hopes and Disney wishes and dreams, and Prince Charming will come, or you don't need no man. But we don't think of, well, wait, when I'm 50, 60, 70, and I keep saying I don't need no man, like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And so women don't have to make financial plans. They don't have to, they'll, and I've never been one for school. In fact, my parents used to get mad because I was like, I'm dropping out, because I was artsy, and I was like, I always knew I could make money, which I did. I've made a lot of money doing, being an entrepreneur. But I had no plan. I literally, it honestly was sheer luck. I mean, and me, I can dedicate myself to something, but only for a short period of time. And so I will say this: women don't have to make a plan. We're allowed to have excuses for our failures, and people give us a pat on the back and say it's going to be all right, sis. And then when we make mistakes in relationships or are the problem,
it's hard to take
no one holds us accountable. And then this verse is it right here. Why are we not making a plan for our lives as women? I want a husband by here. I want to do this by this. This is where I need to be.
It's that part was really interesting to me. You made some really good points right there. He said something. He said, imagine like you are a heroin addict, or you're drunk, you're an alcoholic, right? And then you go and get and you really need this help. And he was trying to compare the help to a therapy session.
Let's take it away from you because it's getting too personal. I don't think you can hang with this. I don't think you can hang with this level of truth. Let me give you something you can't hang with.
Okay.
Heroin addict, alcoholic. Put you in detox and rehab. 7 steps, got you clean, but now you need to work the 12 steps. Are you still in therapy? No, I quit after step 2. Why? I just took a break. So you're back to drinking and drugging? Yeah. Why? The program just give me anxiety, so you're back to the drugs. Yeah. I'm going to go back to the program, but I'm just going to shoot a little heroin. I'm just going to drink a little bit.
And then while you're getting this help, you just decide, you know what? I'm just going to take a little break. That's what she did. She said, I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to go back to the streets. We know she did not take a break to, do more seeking of herself and other stuff. She went back to the streets, and then you go back when, you know what I mean? And part of what you said, it's like, I don't think women really realize how serious the issue of not having a man is. I myself, for a majority of my younger life, worked as a CNA. I said this in another video before, I've spent a lot of time with the elderly, a lot of time. It's changed everything about me. That experience in particular. The reason why I started is my mom wanted me to be a nurse, and it's just what Africans do. For some reason, there's a lot of African nurses out here. So I was expected to do that. I was like, no, I'm not feeling that. And I did that work for a while, met a lot of elderly people who were married, met a lot of elderly people who were dying alone. Literally, I'm watching the person die alone. Those are the fortunate people, right? Who can actually afford a place that's going to take care of them and actually be there. There's people out here who aren't going to be as lucky as that, you know? And when it's put in that type of perspective, people get upset, you know? They get upset.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that men are a necessity. You never hear men saying
they don't need
women are needless, we don't need them, they're useless, you know, by the droves like that. Men don't say that type of stuff. We understand that, like, hey, in order for me to raise a balanced family, I need a good wife. I need somebody who's going to take care of these kids, because a woman will be better at it than I will. But a woman will literally, with the same lips, sit there and say, oh, I can do a man's job just like a man can, if not better. Delusion, it's crazy. And of course, we see it a bunch of times on the channel. Yeah.
And I think, getting back to exactly what you said, you know, Kevin always says, Black women in particular, I wasn't raised this way, but I know it is 100% fact. And it's not even the raising of it, but it's probably our culture today. Black women value two things in a Black man: how much he can provide, his money, and his dick. Period. That's it. That's the only value they see in a man. So then what's the point in submission, or having, you know, you being submissive to him and being, you know, his helpmate? What's the point in all that? Why I got to do all that? I can make just as much money as him. I got my own money. Dick. I got all these guys. I go online. There's a bunch of dudes that want to sleep with me. I can get dick anywhere. Yeah. They don't see the value in a relationship. Yeah. And I'll say this: somebody will say, "Well, you just were divorced, sis. Who are you to tell us?" Well, sis, okay, I was in a relationship for 14 years. I was married for 11 and a half of those. Okay, and just because someone has something that failed, you got to see, where did I win? Okay, I had my children within my marriage, and what Kevin always says, most women don't know how to be in a working relationship with a man. Either they take one little thing and they quit, or they cheat, or they decide, you know, early on that he's not worth my respect because of blah, blah, blah. But I'll say this, having been married and going through divorce, it has taught me more and has humbled me more than anything has ever happened in my life. And that's the whole reason I even found Kevin Samuels.
Gotcha.
And so I will say that that's been, you know, those are the things that were really highlighted for me.
Gotcha. Yeah. Women cheating, man. To me, people hate it when I say this, but a woman cheating, in my opinion, is a lot worse than a male cheating. And so me hearing that she cheated on that guy, immediately I was like, oh man, you know, she, you know, had children, and he was willing to play the, you know, the stepdad role. And she said he was a good man. Moving on to the next, one of my final points I'm going to make here. Good guys, let me not say good guys, because you can be good, right? But nice guys finish last.
I picked up on that. Yeah.
I saw that in the example that she gave, right? She's complaining that she meets all these narcissistic men, but the good guy that came into her life, the nice guy, let me say that, because he sounded like he was a simp. I don't want to disrespect the brother like that right now, but I'm saying, if I met her and I just kind of saw the situation, talking to her for a little bit, I'll see a bunch of red flags, you know, and that's why we have content like this. But, you know, like, nice guys finish last. Don't be out here taking on projects as a man, right? And what I'm saying is not necessarily don't take on women who are willing to work with you. But what I mean is somebody who is obviously not willing to get help because she wasn't in therapy at the time when Kevin was talking to her. Someone who you see a bunch of red flags on. They're not even in the mindset of like getting their mind right. And you go over and you try to wipe that. Beta male move. That's a beta male move, you know? Yeah. And so this is just advice to, you know, guys that are out here, you know, dealing with this. You want to be careful picking the type of woman who would do something like this to you, cheat on you, and then have the nerve to leave. She left him. After she cheated, she left him. And then didn't apologize.
And then they're still friends. That I was like,
oh, you know,
I was like, sir.
I take it back.
I was like, you need to watch AMS for a while. He needs to go alphabet strategy. He don't need a red pill. He needs the whole jar.
He needs a drink.
He needs to guzzle it, red pill every day.
Put him on a dosage, man.
He need to be choking on some AMS. Like, I was like,
I'm hella weak.
I was like, bruh. But I will say this. I want to say this, and because I think a lot of guys think the messaging is that nice guys finish last or good guys finish last.
No, nice guys in particular, not the guy. The good thing I took out, because you can still be a good man and still be an alpha in a woman's eyes. You can still be a good leader and be a good guy. Nice guy to me is different. But go ahead.
I was actually going to say, I was going to use a good and a nice guy interchangeably. And I was going to say exactly what you said, piggyback. It's not that they're nice. It's not that you're good. It's that you're out your alpha masculine frame. Because it's not, a lot of guys think being nice means it's beta. Or that you're being and actually beta is not the lowest. There's actually a study where it's a different thing. But I would say they think being nice is the reason why. It's not because you're nice. It's not because you're courteous or you hold doors open or you offer a seat to a lady. Those are nice things to do. But it's when most men don't know how to be nice and stay in a very masculine frame. And so I don't think guys should worry about, am I nice or good? Just worry about staying in your frame. That's in being masculine.
Let me tell you something. Here's why I disagree with you.
Okay.
Because you can't be nice. That can't be your word, because nice, that's a guy who cares about your feelings. As a man, you care about one thing, which is you put first, which is your purpose on this life. Let me give you an example. You're a religious person, right? Well, you were.
I'm not now.
Yeah. But you understand the Bible because you read the Bible to us. Yeah. I also was raised up pretty religious. So I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Was Jesus a nice guy?
I believe he was.
Then why'd they kill him?
They killed him because he spoke truth. And
but the majority of people
and can I be honest? That was his see, that goes deeper though, because that was his purpose on earth, was to die and be killed. So that goes like, you know, like his destiny. So
you said it. You said it right there. You said it right there. If he was concerned about being nice, would he have been on his purpose?
No,
you get what I mean?
No, I think what you think what I mean. I guess when I say nice, we may have different definitions, and I think that's when I think nice, I think courteous. You get what I mean? No, I don't mean like just weak and you just absorb like, you know, like you just let people walk all over you, but you're like, you know what?
That's what nice means most of the time. And so we got to stick to the general.
It's the word nice. We need to just throw it away because women have shit on that word. So we've ruined the word nice.
Women have shit on that word.
It's my fault.
But no, also men.
I'll take all the hate. You bring it to me. I ruined the word nice.
Also men themselves. Men are the part of the problem too, because a lot of men are out here are simps. They don't have a passion. They don't have a purpose in life. Their purpose is chasing ass. There are a lot of people out here who live for the sake of chasing women, right? No direction, no ambition, and they do not want to learn what it takes to be a man who is respected, not just by women, right? It's more than women. Being a man who's respected by other men who build, other men who are on their purpose, other men who are focused. So back to my example of Jesus, if he was concerned about being nice to the people he met, then he would have forgot his purpose was to come and die, right? He would have forgotten that.
Yeah.
He would have thought to himself, well, let me please the people around me, because the majority of these people want me to act like this. If they don't, they'll kill me. No. He didn't care about that. He pushed forward. That's how you need to be as a man with your purpose, right? You need to put it so much in front of you. And when you do that, all of a sudden, people don't think you're nice anymore when you cancel meetings with them because you got to work on your business, right? Women don't think you're nice because you're upset that she showed 30 minutes up late for the date, when you know you got to get home and work on your purpose and your business. So when you put that purpose first, you don't look nice to a lot of people. Why? Because a lot of people are just kind of just trying to please everybody, and they're just bouncing from one thing to another. But when you have a priority as a man and you have a purpose, you're not going to be so nice. You're going to put that in front of literally everything, and hopefully that feeds you in return, feeds your family, because as a man, you're a provider and protector and such.
Yeah, disagree. I mean, with the way you framed it, absolutely, 100%. And I encourage you, there's some funny stuff that Jesus did. Like, he was a gangster sometimes. He was like wiping the dust off his shoes, like, you know, like he was a gangster. So
sure.
A lot of times think he was this soft, gentle thing, mostly with kids or sick people. But for other people, he was like busting shots in the streets of Jerusalem.
I think with history, I think this is like with history, right? Is that like media and whoever else is in charge of like the portrayal of historical people in the past, they really fluff up strong men. You know, like MLK Day, for example, Martin Luther King. Now he's this soft, nice guy that smiles to everybody. We got to think, for him to do what he had to do in the time where he was doing it, wouldn't be the type of guy that they're portraying now.
And because he exercised options, and a lot of people don't want to talk about that.
You mean he had hoes, right?
Listen, we got the same last name. You'll never hear that. And honestly, that's what bothers me too. Even what they did with like Tiger Woods' father, bringing up a man's past. You know, he raised the greatest golf player of all time, but you bringing up all this dirt about a black man. Why am I not hearing about somebody, else's father? And I think that's what happens. They want to rewrite the history to feminize a man in some way, or put him down. And it's a very feminist way to rewrite history.
Yeah,
and I mean, think about all the. I know Earl may have had his problems and things like that, but he raised the greatest golf player in the world. Why do we need to bring up his father in a documentary? Like, where's the respect? And that's why I will never talk on the personal life of any great black man who's achieved something, because too often we need a reason to vilify a man. But that's a whole other
very
video.
true. That is very.
I'm gonna be quiet. That's a whole other video.
No, you see it with any great man that raises up. They do it with literally everyone. Even Kevin Samuels, they'll sit there and like say, "Oh, what can we dig up? What can we find?" You're gonna find something about anybody.
Everybody. They're gonna find stuff on me. Fine.
They'll find stuff on me. They'll find stuff on anybody out here because we're human beings. It's like if you get out here, you're speaking the truth. People don't like it. They get vilified. Was a really good example that you use. You know what I mean? Yeah, good stuff.
But black men get it the most, and the reality is, ladies, as much as you may be mad at me, I'm a pick me. In fact, I'm a proud pick me, sus, because the opposite of a pick me is a reject me. So, in fact, I make it a true. I'm a proud ass pick me. Pick me. And that's why I don't really care. I mean, say what you have to say. But only thing I want to just know, in 5 years, who's going to have the greater outcome? Me or you? And you know what? You can bust caps and things like that. In fact, let's give it a year. She's divorced. She ain't gonna. Oh, sister. I can.
So when you started, when you tell your friends like, okay, I kind of do agree with Kevin Samuels, what is their response mostly?
I have a friend that I shared it with. She's actually a wonderful friend. So this is no cap on her, and she's a big Hollywood person. So I cannot go. No problem. No, you won't. You will never figure it out. Trust me, I have a lot of friends who are actors, so you don't know. But I introduced her to him, and she was very, very, like, she was the only friend I introduced, because me and like my dad and like I don't talk to a lot of women because I just know what it's going to be. But I thought she may be open, but she was just very offended by him. And I said, and I don't argue with a woman. I just say, I don't know how you guys do it. God bless you. Oof, I couldn't deal with women the way you have to. But I will say, she barked back and was just like, he's this, that, and the other. And I said, okay. I said, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. It was basically I just left it open. I didn't agree. I just said, you know what? I see what you're saying. And so I've given it some time. She hasn't come back yet with anything. So I realized, is she thinking about it some more? Is she hearing it? Is it piercing? But for the most part, a lot of women, until they listen to a full thing and a couple of the things that he does.
That's true.
They need to see him when he's being tender. He's really handling women with kid gloves, and see the full picture of what he's doing.
That's true.
And then ask yourself, are all the gurus today, are black women in a better position as far as relationship goes?
Yeah.
Today, like, what's the harm? Why not give it a chance?
And the answer to that is no. They're not in a better position. Yeah. And just to close it off real quick, a lot of people, like you said, don't understand like what Kevin Samuels is doing overall in the bigger picture. Here's what I see personally for myself, right? Mm-hmm. People see him talking to women and they think, Kevin just focuses on these women and he's only attacking women and this and that. Mm-hmm. Here's what's really happening. Mm-hmm. When he addresses, there's two things happening here. When he addresses a woman and says, hey, this is not me saying this. These are men saying this. They want feminine women, and they think that most women today don't consider that. They want nurturing women, right? Mm-hmm. They want women who know how to live in their feminine energy, and they don't want to have to be a millionaire to get it from you. They don't want to have these unrealistic standards you have of like, I want six figures or like nothing, 6'5". Exactly.
You know what?
And yeah, exactly, or 12, depending. You know what I mean? But yeah, they have all these unrealistic expectations, and he's over there telling these women that, and he's saying, hey, by the way, might want to lose some weight. You know, that's another thing that's a big problem. Nothing that's said there is ridiculous, right? But here's what happens. Men see that, and they hear that, and they see what these women say about six-figure men in particular. And what it's doing to a lot of men out here, it's upping their competition mindset. He's encouraging women to be feminine, but he's also showing men how much women value resources and why we need to step it up as black men as well. That's what it does. So when a man goes there, he sees all these women who are like, I'll date this guy, but marriage, I want a guy who's on it. I want a guy who's making money. I want a guy guys are sitting there and going, damn, I've got to step up my shit. That's the effect he's having on men. So when you have men who are listening to Kevin Samuels and they're thinking to themselves, I've got to step my shit up. And you've got women who are thinking to themselves, wow, I've got to prepare to be a wife.
Right.
Those two people will go, the small minority, right, will go and improve themselves.
Yeah.
And then when those two people meet, it will be the perfect, as humanly possible, recipe for a marriage and a family, and a situation like that, right? Mm-hmm. That's the bigger picture of what's really happening here.
Right. And I agree.
As unrealistic as it sounds when a woman says she wants six figures, it's still kind of like a reminder to a man that, are you doing your best as a man out here? Are you focusing on your purpose? Because men are part of the problem too. I'm not afraid to say that, and I say it on my channel a lot. Mm-hmm. Men are part of the problem. They want to suck the competition out of men. They want to turn you into feminine men. They want you to be emotional. They want you to be driven by your emotions. A man who's driven by his emotions is a feminine man. You're supposed to be masculine, center, right? It doesn't mean that you're perfect at all times and you're like some fucking robot or something like that. No, it just means that you make effort to take charge of your life. People don't like that I use the word alpha a lot of times. They say, why these labels? Alpha just means leader, right? You don't have to be the leader of the world. Be the leader of your woman. If she sees you and recognizes you as a leader, that's enough. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't even matter if I think you're beta. If your woman right now acknowledges that, hey, I want to follow, I want to lead, I want you to lead me, then you are the alpha in her eyes, and that's what you need. But in order for her to look up to you, you must go and self-improve, improve your life, and also must learn to carry yourself a certain way and get rid of those feminine characteristics, which I had for the longest time before embracing my masculinity. And they'll shame you. They use shame a lot for men and tell you you're wrong for embracing your masculinity, but you just got to stick to it. You got to set goals in your life. You've got to improve, and you've got to focus and better yourself. That's the message I get a lot of times when I listen to that Kevin Samuels stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think we just got to give each other a lot of grace. You know, for a lot of us, this is new information. You know, women didn't know they were masculine. Men didn't know they were feminine.
You sure they didn't know?
Huh?
I said, are you sure?
A lot of these terms, because I was married, I didn't know how bad these dating streets were, because I was married and doing my thing.
Yeah.
And so just, I didn't know, you know, we all need some grace right here. We need to be able to have these conversations without people throwing labels on somebody because, okay, the guy giggled, or he wasn't alpha male dominant the whole time, or a woman stepped out of place with her voice tone or the way she was. I believe, you know, we don't need everyone. We only need 10%. If we get 10% of black women to change their minds, that's all we need in order to create a snowball effect, or at least start to pull our community out of the mud. And that's, you know, even Kevin brings that number up. And so I will say, if we give each other grace, and I want guys to know there are women like me who think like this. Like, we aren't all already, you know, there's women who said, you know what, I've made enough mistakes in life. I'm ready to hear the other side, because what they have for me out there, I'm not buying it anymore. So you guys got to don't just dog every single woman. Give them a chance. And I'm guilty of this too, because I actually have red pill rage. I had to calm down in the comments because I was like, I was red pill raging because I watch red pill stuff all the time. Like, I know. I know AMS.
You got some,
what's his name? Steph so cold. Steph is cold.
Okay, I see.
MJ, get right.
Okay.
You know, I'm in Florida too. Fresh and Fit's not really the same thing.
With
but
the red pill knowledge, man.
I watched all the, you know, because I actually enjoy it, because when do you hear from men?
You don't.
Women, we're getting men to finally tell us what we want, what they want. They're expressing their emotions. And if we keep dismissing it, but yet we keep saying, why don't you talk to me? Well,
yeah.
So anyway, so I think if we give each other grace, I think we can get out of this. You know?
Sounds good. I think that's great. I think that's good. So, like usual, guys, these conversations usually go either way. We covered a lot of that Kevin Samuels video. If you guys want to watch the rest of it, check the description down below to listen to the rest of that video. Melanie, any last words? Anything you want to tell the audience?
Sure. Well, I'm launching my channel pretty soon. And I'm going to be, my goal is to be a voice to women, or support to the manosphere. Obviously not injecting myself into what men are doing, but I do believe you guys need more women who can say, you know, sis, we got to rethink this. We got to listen, you know, and that's my goal. So
that's what's up. Yeah, we do need that. That's great. That's what's up. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video and want to do amazing things for me, hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to leave your thoughts, your comments in the comment section. Melanie, I appreciate you for coming on the No Cap Show.
Thanks.
We didn't hear any cap, man. No cap today. Hey guys, I'm out. Until next time, peace.